You're watching Oilersnation Radio.
I got a feeling we're going to do a lot of yelling on this one. Before we even started the podcast, I heard Dan and Rick getting into it.
Santander?
Mm-hmm.
Too old?
Who's that?
Yep.
He's 30, so basically about time to take him out behind the shed. And
Yep. Basically dead.
Baseball. What happened to Roki Sasaki?
Who?
not
Basically a Blue Jay.
Or Kirby Yates. Wasn't he a Blue Jay?
You had me convinced a Friday ago.
I had myself convinced.
That was so fast that turned around. I dropped it in the group chat like an hour later.
Yep.
Jays get cucked again.
You know, yeah, that happened
How come?
for the Otani stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
We recorded a full episode, essentially just Blue Jays talk. We came out and he was not on the plane.
Yep.
That was
I
Yeah, it was
saw him
the
in the
guy
airport, though.
It was the guy from Dragon's Den.
Yeah. I do think it's funny not to go fully baseball on everyone, but how come when the Jays actually get a free agent, no one's talking about who came second? No, we only there's been not one report about like the Mets were also interested.
I think someone tweeted that. Like, if the Jays had any sense of humor, they'd say the Dodgers were second place.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, I think you're gonna see a play stoppage in the next CBA, and I think it might be a while. And I don't think it's gonna go well.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I think
Just like the contracts in baseball.
the
being crazy.
CBAs are good. The CBA is going to have to discuss it, and I think a lot of owners are going to want to kind of close some of those loopholes, and a lot of owners aren't going to want to.
Yeah.
And it's going to turn into a big pushing, shoving match. That's going to be like, we're not going to talk. And now it's 11th hour. Okay, now we'll talk. No, we don't like each other. You've had like 18 months to figure it. Nope.
The
You
guy
can't
that
start
owns,
discussing it to the last 5 minutes.
the guy that owns the Oakland A's is just like, whatever gets me the most money, guys. I don't care. I'm just here. I will vote with you.
Hey, they're doing the like reverse kind of Washington Commanders thing now because they're playing in Sacramento this year, but I don't think they want to be called the Sacramento A's. So I think they're just being called the A's.
Cool.
Whoa.
Where are we? Could be anywhere.
We're on the road. But
Hey, that'd be a
about,
fun traveling roadshow with the A's.
Can we apply to host a couple home games? That's what they should do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
touring,
The
touring
Oakland
band.
A's, and they're terrible.
So
Isn't that what Vegas is trying to do right now? with
at
them?
John Ducey Stadium?
So their official name when you go to their website is A's in West Sacramento.
Oh yeah, Angels of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim all over again.
Sweet. Sweet.
Is baseball the next CBA to come up out of all the professional sports?
They are
though?
2 seasons away, I believe.
Yeah, so it lines up with hockey.
I'm only one call away.
All right. Well, on
What
that
else we
note,
got?
Let's do
can
it.
you tell how sick of talking about McDavid and Myers we all are?
I haven't got a chance yet.
You
So
guys
I'm
Neither
looking
have I.
forward to it. We
gonna
got
watch the indoor golf league this evening?
Oh, damn.
Gonna miss it.
Starts right at the Oilers game.
Womp
They do a little 30-minute recap episode. I'll watch that.
We will get a promotion for it during the game, though.
100%.
Which is awesome.
I think it's funny to tell people to go to another channel while they're watching the Oilers game, though.
Delicious Debate is brought to you by our friends at Odd Company Brewing, home of the all-new Nation Beer Everyday Lager. I'm proud to partner with them. Perfect for the next big game like tonight. Or drink away the sadness of 3 suspended games of 97. Either way. Perfect for the next big game or your next go-to lager. Find it at Odd Company Brewing at either of their Edmonton locations or liquorconnect.com. It's like a little search engine for your alcohols, your favorite alcohol. So go find it at a liquor store near you. Ask them why it's not there. If it's not, bring it in. You will enjoy. Tyler, what have you got for a delicious debate today?
I mean, come on, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Did the NHL get it right? 3 for Myers, 3
No,
for
they
McDavid.
didn't.
No.
I'm going to start. Well, I'm going to give my take because other people are going to yell. I thought that he was going to get suspended, but I thought it was 2 games absolute max. Absolute max. And the reason I said 2 is I was like, okay, well, the Oilers play Vancouver on Thursday. Maybe the NHL wants to kind of keep it quieter for that game. They don't want it to explode, which is just good TV if they did. And it's also good for both of our websites, probably good for hockey fights. So they missed out on an opportunity to have a game where everybody's watching it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I thought it was going to be a 1 or 2. I do not think they got it right. 3 games is too much.
I think 3 games is too much by 1.
Yeah, 2 games is fine, but they can't be equal penalties either.
I was surprised by that too. Like Tyler Myers' cross-check to the face was way worse, and I don't think it's close.
It's not.
So I don't know how they both got the same.
I think Myers, though, if you want me to try to be devil's advocate here, because if I had to give, like, if I was Department of Player Safety, it would have been 2 for Connor, 3 for Myers, because I'm with you guys. I view it as like a guy who is engaging in a physical altercation is somewhat expecting to get popped, right? Like it's not whatever. Myers doing it unprovoked. I believe it to be worse. I think if you wanted to play devil's advocate, what you could say is Tyler Myers could go, whoa. Well, if he doesn't pop my guy, I don't pop him.
He actually popped Bouchard on. He runs Bouchard in the boards right after the play is over.
Yeah.
So he actually instigates the first issue and then comes back on top. But the officials obviously can only see about 3 feet in front of themselves, and that's all they can do.
Yeah, and I think there was, I think there was an element that Myers argued, according to whoever was tweeting this, that Bouchard put his hands up, and that's why Myers' stick went higher. Again, bad excuse, but you could maybe see a couple of lines of logic, if you want to call it logic, behind why Myers maybe got the same.
Yeah, you see someone like scratching and clawing at an excuse or something like that, but at the end of the day, you have to just call a spade here and say that's egregious and wrong. And
the problem was that
you can tell someone they're just straight up wrong.
The refs were wrong. 2 players got suspended because they lost complete control of the game. That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where I actually don't have much to blame on the Department of Player Safety. I think they were put in a situation because their co-workers did such a poor job in that moment of the game. And one thing I think has been really lost in this whole conversation is when a lot of Oilers fans and Oilers media have been like, just call the penalty, call the clear hold on Garland.
Or the interference.
And everyone was saying like,
or the hook.
Anything, call anything. Everyone's saying, well, the Oilers wouldn't have won. It's like, that's not the point. It was obvious. Like the Oilers were already in a spot where they probably weren't going to win anyway. But the point is, you then don't have McDavid cross-check him in the face and get a 3-game suspension. You don't have Tyler Myers getting cross-checking Evan Bouchard too. Like just a very avoidable situation by the NHL. And they just refused to take matters into their own hands in that moment because Wes McCauley just loves the camera more than anything.
He's the greatest ref in the league right now, guys. Why? Because he goes out there and says, so 5 minutes for fighting. And now all these 55-year-old white dudes who cover hockey think this is the greatest thing in the fucking world.
I'm 38. Thank you. Hockey fights are said every single time, so you're welcome.
It's very entertaining.
Very personal.
It's very entertaining.
Wait a minute. How old are you two over there?
In an entertainment business, it's very entertaining. But does it say he does his job properly? No. That's just like the frosting on the cake. Does the cake taste good? No, the cake is terrible, but it had nice frosting. Therefore, it's the best cake out there. Stupid.
I don't know. I hear a lot of guys here on this panel calling for game management from the referees, and I am not about it.
What? No, it's reverse game management.
I'm just messing around. I think that yes, the NHL had created or has the die cast for this situation a long time ago when we got into the game management conversation. And I think that Connor Garland looked at the way that the game had been called, realized it was prison rules, and went for it. I don't fault him for that. Where I do find fault is the rest of the team. I think letting McDavid get to that point was just not okay. And so for the league, you're in a tough spot, and we can get to that. We can come back to that more. But I think that the league is in a tough spot when it turns into a circus of cross checks to the face. You have to just send the message to everybody that it's a fucking 3-game suspension if you do it. And that's it.
You remember Austin Powers when they were in the rocket ship and he was fighting Mini-Me?
Yeah.
For an Oiler to get involved in this, it's like helping out Austin Powers and grabbing Mini-Me. Like, first of all they're doing is wrestling on the ground. There's absolutely, I get it. It's wrong. It should not be allowed. It's a penalty. But for Connor Garland to do that, I said before, if it was switched, I have no issues tonight with someone holding Ovechkin on the ice in some sort of rear clench hold and preventing him from scoring in the last 20 seconds.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Dan, we're all disagree. Like, if that was in the middle of the second period, I'd agree with you. There was 10 seconds left in the game. There's no Oiler on the ice being like, we should probably, no, it's like, we have to tie this game. We're down by 1 with 10 seconds left.
But I think that I have the ability to say that because I've been clamoring for it since the Boston game. And I think that that's where this all started for the Oilers.
10 seconds left in the game. You can't be like,
different.
Draisaitl to leave the puck and go punch Connor Garland in the face.
It's completely different because this is just like a little skirmish with a dude half his size. If it was Zadorov, if it was fucking Tyler Myers that had something with Connor, then yes, jump off the fucking bench and go deal with it. But it's Connor Garland. This dude's smaller than that fucking remote right there. Connor McDavid can handle that on his own. And if the ref's not going to call it and Connor gets to the point, McDavid gets to the point of like where it's just push comes to shove and he snaps, Well, that's what it is. And this was not just Connor Garland that pushed Connor past the edge. This is 10 years of bullshit where the refs just put their whistles in their pockets because he's too good out there, that this is the only way some guys can bring him down. And they're like, well, that's fine. That's just, you got to play through it.
I hear it. I hear you, what you're saying, that we should be guiding our frustration at the referees. And I agree with that.
But I even don't. So I'm all for the Boston play. Someone jumping in there, especially if we didn't score that power play goal where we were up now all of a sudden. So it's like that's a pretty good fuck you. Someone's got to fucking grab him. And I agree with you, Josh Brown. That is your really only job being on this team when you were on this team, was to go out there and do something like that in that type of a situation. But I do not see that Connor Garlick and McDavid being the same type of a situation. This was just a little wrestling match that he just kept holding him down. You really can't do anything about that. Connor fights that himself. Punch him, drop your glove and punch him. I don't give a shit. I really don't care if he cross-checks him again. But I don't see those being the same plays. That one where you're talking Boston and the majority of those issues out there, I agree with you. And yes, Josh Brown did absolutely nothing here. He should never be this far north again.
Yeah,
that's right. Probably won't be.
I just like even to see somebody go and maul Myers after that. Like I just wanted something. And
I don't think anyone saw the Myers thing because they were all in the skirmish. I didn't even see it, and I was watching.
But somebody on the bench, come off the bench and get suspended for get suspended for the right reason. The reason is you're tired of watching your team get
player's going to lose 1/8 of their salary jumping off the bench.
Again, it's frustrating because you want action, you want retribution.
I wanted the response 2 games ago.
You're getting this far is like, Dan's become a different person to me right now. Dan, spicy. You were all for it, but once you said jump the bench and take the 10 gamer, I mean, look at everyone who's on the bench at that point. We kind of need the majority of them
because we're having this conversation now. Because McDavid is out for 3 games and Myers is out for 3 games. I would rather have that conversation because Josh Brown is suspended for 10 games because he watched Evan Bouchard take one of the chops. He jumped off the bench and mauled Tyler.
I'm all in agreement about the Josh Brown not doing what he was supposed to do when he was here. 100%.
Liam, did they get it right?
Well, I don't think they were that off. At the end of the day, if from the videos they said, and I agree, like the Myers one was worse, but it's also the NHL, and this is what they do all the time. They're always just going to give 3 to one side, 3 to the other, and just even it out.
Remember when they did Nurse and Petrangelo?
And it was so brutal.
I honestly don't know why I was so surprised by this.
Surprised, not pissed off. Yeah, sure. That's probably a better way to put it. But in their video, they said they both have history of doing it, and it's both a cross check to the head. And I think the good comparison of it for McDavid, where it probably would have been 2 if he didn't have this history of like those fine. And I know they were a while ago, but they're still part of it. And it's different from repeat offender and history of different things. So I think that's why McDavid got an extra one. I think they probably would have gave him McDavid and Myers 2 games if they both didn't have the history. And just be like, hey, they played Thursday. Who was the cross check on McDavid behind the net?
Susie.
Do you have a history?
No.
I don't know.
He got one though, and
one which counts as 2 in the
Matthews is the best example because Matthews,
but he didn't have a
exactly. So we got 2 games.
That's what I know. I'm trying to find something where we can take away.
If you look through a lot of them, like after the whistle stuff, like Morgan Riley obviously has won last season where he got 5 games on Ridley Gregg, and I can't remember the explanation on that one, but like I don't know. I don't think they were like that off. I just again think the refs in the moment and a terrible call, and it's not 100% to like. Call Garland, obviously, but like if you really want to just put an end to it, just call them both. Just call them both.
Kill them, play
them to the box and like, hey, 2 minutes each for roughing. See you later.
And this is a non-story.
Exactly. And it's just annoying for us at that point. We're having a conversation how annoying that moment was, rather than like our best player and the best player in the league is now out for 3 games. The good news is the Canucks blue line stinks with Myers, so now it's even worse without him. So there you go.
Can't get any slower though.
Vinny's getting up the lineup.
He was in the lineup last game.
A little off topic, but we were trying to remember before the show, and maybe you guys remember better than us. The McDavid elbow suspension. What was the narrative around that? Was that him being frustrated and getting tired of the league, or
he
just kind of came across? I don't.
But that too was the player had his head a little bit out of his body, and Connor's elbow was tucked.
But the Nick Leddy one.
Yeah, I believe so.
No, I watched it the other day. It basically just comes right across him. Nick Leddy like shoots.
But which is worse, the Minnesota one or that one?
I mean, if you're arguing if he should have been suspended, I think he should have at least been fined for the hit on Johansson.
Yeah,
You know, me too, but I'm just not going to play that.
Sorry. Nicoletti,
Hold on.
head falls
Can we
off.
zoom in on that one?
Is that Kevin Quinn?
Yeah, it was.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I
we don't need to get into an argument about this.
No, I
but,
know.
like,
I'm just saying. Like, I think his elbow came out more in the in the last game.
Oh, me too. Like
There's a little flare of the elbow there.
if McDavid would have gotten one game for the Johansson thing, I wouldn't have said boo about it. I would have been like, yeah, maybe don't pop guys in the head.
He did photo flare.
I think everybody
a
was
crazy
expecting
week. A crazy week from McDavid.
And I do think
I love the evil era though.
me too. And I had someone text me the other day. They're like, doesn't this maybe feel like 2 for the cross check and 1 for the elbow? Like the NHL was like, come on, man, we just let you off the hook like 3 days ago. What are you doing?
The NHL can't even say that because there's so many times that Connor's like, well, I didn't say anything about this or that or the other thing. And the NHL's like, well, we have one little thing on you. We need to get retribution on.
Yeah.
Connor's got a whole Christmas bag full of them.
We're going to continue it on in the news because I got some quotes from his teammates that we're going to discuss a little bit. I got to give a shout out to Oodle Noodle. Tyler, you had Oodle Noodle the other day. It looked delicious.
Oh, I got it delivered too.
I want to talk about the Bombay butter chicken and a green onion cake for $17.95. The dynamic duo combo that is in store only runs from January 8th to March 25. Go on in, get yourself some butter chicken and a green onion cake, all for $17.95. It's delicious
And nutritious.
It's wonderful. I would bathe in butter chicken if it was socially acceptable.
I bet you there's a spa somewhere that would let you do it.
All right, something to consider, something to think about.
Let others decide what you want to do with your life.
Like, don't let your dreams be dreams.
Coming soon, Oodle Noodle Spas.
I also want you, if you're listening to this, hit us up on socials. Let us know if the NHL got it right or wrong with their suspension. Corey Perry spoke to Mark Spector over at Sportsnet, and his quote was interesting. He goes, "Why aren't we protecting the superstars? Why aren't we doing it? Every other league does it. They protect their superstars." And it kind of reminds me of like, if this happened to, well, and I know it doesn't happen to basketball, but like a LeBron or in the NFL with Patrick Mahomes, like they stop it.
Yeah.
That's who you're paying ticket prices to go see is those guys. So I'm just curious what you think about Corey Perry kind of thinking the NHL doesn't do anything to protect their stars.
Everybody's saying it. I think everybody's right.
Yeah. The only thing I kind of like roll my eyes at is like the people who are like, because McDavid got suspended, he should stop doing this for the league. Okay, he deserved to get suspended. If you want to say McDavid should take a stance on how he's officiated and how other star players are officiated, sure. But like the idea that the NHL should look at Connor McDavid and be like, well, we're not going to suspend him because he's McDavid. Like you also can't go that far. But I agree that like this year, the penalties have dropped pretty drastically in terms of how many get called on McDavid and on McKinnon and on some other guys. Like
this is all the stars, by the way.
And when you look at the playoffs, it falls dramatically. Like I do think the league has an officiating problem. And I'm, I guess, happy in a way that the 3-game suspension to McDavid is maybe drawing some extra attention to it. But, you know, I saw that stuff yesterday being like, he should skip for it. McDavid is going to start carefully telling the NHL no to doing. And it's like, really? Have you paid 1 ounce of attention to how Connor McDavid has acted at any point in his hockey career? Like he's not going to sit there and skip out on the All-Star game because they suspended him 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right. Like you said, if you're going to do it, but it's not in response to this 3-game suspension.
Yeah.
You did it. You did the crime. You served the time. I said, I have no issues with, I think it's 1 game too many. I have no issues with him doing it.
I just feel like the 3-game suspension and how McDavid is officiated are, and I get that, you know, hey, if Garland's called for the penalty, he doesn't cross-check him. Sure, there's that connection, but I still almost view them as like separate issues. Like Adrian Kempe was allowed to kick the feet out from under a superstar player and he got a $5,000 fine. That's intent to injure. Like stuff like that. I would like to see that taken more seriously.
Leon behind the net too.
Leon behind the net.
Hartman standing right there staring at it.
And Hartman has a rap sheet of dangerous trips. He's been suspended for dangerous trips. Like that's the stuff I'd like to see them take more seriously. But like the idea that the star players can't get suspended, I think is like a bridge too far.
How about this one though? It's from our friend NHL Sid. Tweeted this out yesterday, which would have been Monday. Fun fact. It's not so fun. Connor McDavid would rank 8th on the Vancouver Canucks in minor penalties drawn per 60 this season. JT Miller alone has drawn over twice the penalties per hour as Connor McDavid. Take that as you will.
It's an interesting conversation because the last 4 years before that, maybe 3 years, like McDavid has basically been first, second, or top 5. Like he's been drawing penalties. But this season, there just seems to have been a change in what the refs are doing, and I don't really get it. And he should probably like power play opportunities are down across the league too. And maybe it's just the first half of the season, and things will start to change towards the end and bring those numbers up. But it's wrong, and I think too, like a lot of Oilers fans and hockey fans in general, like if you're a fan of one of these teams as like a superstar, like we're not out here saying that every single thing needs to be called on a game-to-game basis, because there needs to be a flow to the game. Like it makes the game fun. But when you get clear and obvious stuff that is just clearly missed, and the refs just choose not to call it because of the time in the game, what if you've just had 2 power plays before, like all this stuff, like it just doesn't make sense. And I think that's where the NHL needs to clear things up a little bit, because we see it every game. McDavid gets tripped every single game.
That's what frustrates me, though. Sometimes they're not going to see it. I get that. That's going to happen. The Connor one with Garland, the Leon one behind the net. There is a guy standing there watching it. He did not miss it. He saw it and decided not to call that. That is abuse of your job. That is something where the NHL needs to come out and hold these guys accountable. I've been saying on this show for a long time now. And I know people just think I'm just trying to rip on the refs, but all I want is some accountability to them. Let's see them face the fucking microphone at the end of the game. Why didn't you call that? You're going to sit there and put a microphone in front of Connor McDavid's face 3 seconds after he loses game 7 in the Stanley Cup final. And you're not going to be able to do this to a referee in a game in January. How many, like, we are dealing with these guys with kid gloves for what reason?
I think one thing that could be helpful, and I think it's ESPN.
The NFL makes their refs come out and have at least put a statement out.
Yeah, they put
NBA does interviews, I believe.
One thing I think the NFL does well, and the NHL does it on ESPN. They have Dave Jackson who comes on and like says the rules and like why this was called, why this wasn't called. Like it would be good if we got that more in Canada. And like in the NFL, the refs that come on, they'll fully say like that's a missed call, that's a bad call, or like explain why a call is made, all that stuff. Like I think that would bring up like a lot of clarity on things.
I just think having the officials speak after the game is like a good educational tool. And it's not even just to like have them get ripped for a missed call. It's like, what did you see here? What did you see here?
Explain it. That's what I want.
But realistically, we know the NHL is not going to do this.
Correct.
I agree, Dan.
Not with these people in charge right now.
The NHL is okay with upper body, lower body still. They're okay with all kinds of ambiguity.
That will change.
What is
as people die, that will change.
But what is a realistic
They all
thought?
Habs fans?
Yeah,
is it that in every training camp, fans get videos to explain the calls? Like, didn't we used to get memos about, or the media would get memos about the calls that they were going to be calling more and the things that they weren't going to.
The other thing too that like I don't love about this is if Connor McDavid believes there's a case, if he looks at the Austin Matthews one and says, I should only get 2 games for this, not 3. The appeal process in the NHL is fucking garbage because Gary Bettman basically rubber stamps any suspension that goes out. And then if you're going to appeal it, it goes back to Gary, who doesn't want to make the people he hires look bad. Like I think the Department of Player Safety, and that's probably a thing for the next CBA, needs to be like taken away from, it needs to be like a third party or like in joint collaboration with the PA, where the appeal process is one where like the appeal is heard. If you want to appeal it, you have 24 hours and it's heard in 24 hours. So like there's a chance you don't have to miss a game if you don't deserve to be suspended. Like the process is broken. There's a lot of processes in the NHL that are broken right now.
Games start on time too.
That's just it, man. You were asked a simple question, and it was just easy to go, you know what? Yeah, we sometimes our pre-games get a little long. This just, you know what? Take the rap on the knuckles and go, yeah, we're not perfect. We're a bunch of human beings. We make mistakes. We'll try our best to get them games started.
Honestly,
nope. Everything's perfect. What are you talking about? All the games start perfectly on time. And when you're watching on TV and the player goes in the corner and he disappears into the boards, that whole little fucking thing. Nope. I've had people call me. They tell me they love it.
But Gregor made a great point.
Just say one time. Yep. That's on us. We'll do our best. We'll try to do better.
We're trying to fix it.
Gregor had some examples, but it's like a historic thing that Gary Bettman does where he goes, it's fine. Then in the last year of a CBA, he suddenly starts being publicly like, this isn't.
That's politics, dude.
I know. But it's just funny to see. Like,
it is. Again. It's funny, but fuck me in the time. It is frustrating as all hell. No,
I agree with it. No arguments there. Yeah, like just tell me when the puck drops. That's what I care about.
That's the thing. Like the puck actually drops consistently, like 7 minutes after.
If it's a
hour.
national broadcast or a local,
It's like-
it's 7:08 or 7:15.
I just
And
think it's
that's
like
fine.
baseball. If they tell you first pitch is at 7:04, first pitch is at
Dude,
7:04.
NFL kicks off like 11:02. The
F1, it's 2 minutes after the show starts.
Yep.
Away we go.
Soccer
soccer
starts
like
at-
bang on the nose.
Right on time.
Hockey's like, nah. You guys ready yet? No, not yet. All right.
Oh,
hold
there's a
on.
pregame ceremony. We're actually another 20 minutes late.
You guys ready yet? No, not quite. All right, take your time. All right, let's go. Okay, go.
It's just frustrating too because in the building they run a tight ship. Like they're all over it. Everybody here has seen the sheets where their itinerary of the night. Everybody knows what's going on, but we still can't get it figured out.
And they'll never ever admit it. Yet we can all see it.
Was anyone surprised, going back to Connor really quickly? Probably not. How many people just kind of put their hand up? Other former NHLers, current NHLers that were just like, sometimes you got to do it.
No, because I bet all those guys have been in that spot, and it's just the way it is. I think this might have happened when one other guy got suspended. I can't remember, but it seems like a familiar conversation has happened.
Players, police, and players.
You know what? Hopefully they all stand up for each other at the next negotiation.
Well, there's also an interesting point if you watch the broadcast on Saturday night of Kevin Bieksa kind of, I know you put it on Hockey Fights, Dan, of him talking about how important fighting still is in this league, where if they kind of let them police themselves, a lot of this stuff just doesn't happen.
I didn't see that, but I did love about the broadcast when they went back to the panel that there was just a hockey game going on. Canmore was just
playing. Yeah, the Eagles, they were playing.
Yeah.
It was a comeback.
It was actually awesome.
And then the crowd goes insane.
Yeah, that was really cool. I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
What was the quote from the extra? Just that?
Essentially that. Like,
you just paraphrasing.
Both
Just
cross
like
checks to the head. They're both the same bad cross checks to the head. They're both suspensions. I don't know how you argue those, but if there's ever an argument for me, guys, if there's ever an argument to keep fighting in the NHL, this is why. The personnel on the ice for Edmonton is like too talented. And then, he said, you just, nobody on the ice is willing to drop the gloves and fight in that moment. And so instead you get stick work, essentially European style stick work. You can see it over in Europe in the leagues where they don't have fights. They will just tee off on each other's skates and slash at each other. It's insanity.
it's
But
like lacrosse, where you're
it's like
allowed to
some of
stick
those beer
people.
league
Okay.
games, man. You see on the clips on Twitter or whatever, and everybody looks like Alex Pietrangelo out there, and they're
Mhm.
coming from top to bottom.
That's why Tyler Rock's a full cage.
The other day, I had a ref chirp me for wearing my full cage. I'm like, dude. And then
safety first.
Yeah, I like complained about a call and he's like, take off your cage, maybe you could see better. And I was like, not true, I see fine. And then like 2 shows later, I took a puck right square at the bottom of my cage and I was like, see, I'm the one who's in the right.
Anyway, the Oilers
The
are,
puck just a little high along the glass.
Hell, he was about to get it.
because Connor McDavid is out of the lineup for the next 3 games, that means fresh line combos.
Don't you wish we could put him on LTIR or whatever and trying to cure some of that?
Oh, that'd be
Taking
nice.
that 12.5 off for a couple games would be real nice.
Yeah, how about that? Missing 3 games, you miss $195,000.
What would you do with McDavid's suspension money?
Subscribe to my OnlyFans. I'm trying to work my way there. New line combos that came out from practice. Jeff Skinner getting a bump up. He's going to be playing with Nugent-Hopkins. Podkolzin, Draisaitl, Arvidsson stay the same. Henrique, Brown, Janmark back together. And then we got Perry, Philp, and Kapanen. Any thoughts on Jeff Skinner getting the bump? It's going to be interesting to see what he does. I know he's playing with Nugent-Hopkins, so it's not Connor or Leon, but you get an opportunity, you're going to get more minutes.
I hope they give him a good, honest chance here. And if he does well, hopefully when Connor comes back, they consider, keeping him up in a spot like that. But yeah, we'll see.
It's tough to stay up in a spot like that because when Connor does get here, obviously his line goes up, and I don't think they want to break up that other line of Leon, Arvidsson, and Pods. So I don't think. Sorry, Jeff. I don't think it's possible to make the second line. It's the first or the third, or the fourth, or the press box.
But again, I think he's going to get a chance to get some more minutes. So
make the most of it.
Make the most of it.
And I think he's coming in at the absolute right time for him in this entire stretch as an Oiler. This is probably the best hockey he's played for us in the last little bit.
The last couple games for sure, I thought he had some really, really solid shifts.
I just need more grit out of him.
I don't know if
I think that's what we know what he's got offensively, and I think he's shown that essentially all year. It's the stuff away from the puck that he needed to get, and I think he's been gritty in his own zone. Maybe he's got to watch he's been very gritty in the offensive zone.
Yeah.
Maybe he's to be a little bit better in his own zone, but he's out there and he's trying to do those things, and I'm all for it. And I do think he should probably, as long as he keeps doing the same thing he's been doing the last couple of games, get all 3 games right there.
Still hold no hope for 70 points.
Looks
McDavid.
Just got to find a little streak.
Looks deep pairings are all staying the same. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emerson. I missed it yesterday. When did they say that
Like a week or so.
our new friends coming in?
Yeah, they did say about a
John
week.
Klingberg. So where are we at?
So
we're all wrong.
if you say a week, you're thinking Seattle on the 27th. So Liam said Detroit on the 30th. BM said Buffalo on the 25th, but it's looking like
Doesn't
Liam.
sound like it.
Yeah, it looks like Liam might win this one.
Right again.
Well, you got to get in on that game now. You literally only picked that because you didn't want to be a Saturday because there are 2 Saturdays.
No, I paused.
You said, I was like, oh, I like that, but I want to be different. So I'm going to go there.
Built different. What can I say? 2 bags of milk in this room.
Yep. Anyway, John Klingberg, he will be around at some point. Do you think this just means the end of the Josh Brown experiment? 7 games and we're done?
Let's
8
hope.
games?
Let's hope. He's just
Yes and no.
He's
This season, yes.
I can't. No, I think they brought certain guys up for to see what they've got, and I don't think he showed what he's got. He got something. I think he was okay.
Yeah,
but in the role that you actually needed him to be in, he wasn't good at it.
He made 1 hit. I can remember that was a really nice hip check, and that was it.
He was exactly what I expected, and that is why I'm disappointed.
He underperformed on the aggression side of things, and that's what I'm upset
so
about.
mean but funny.
I just found him to be an average bottom 6 defender, and absolutely no punch whatsoever when he was sold to me. And I watched him in the AHL do it. So,
dude, he came in after what happened in the Montreal game? Because he came in the Ottawa game and got in a fight. Did he not?
Yeah,
so something happened in the Montreal game where like
Jack guy got hit.
That was the game that Hyman got hurt, I think.
And then Kulak just pivoted around.
Yeah. So we're like, okay, we'll get Josh in next. And he got in a fight that game. Okay, cool. You get it. You understand.
Yep.
And that was the only thing he's ever done besides that 1 hip check I can remember.
The other news, Derek Ryan waived and cleared. And the aforementioned Josh Brown loaned to Bakersfield.
Waz is still on the floor in the RVs.
Waz was looking at flights to Bakersfield.
Not a good place to go.
Too much.
I said I give Waz 2 weeks, and he's going to be in the Oilers store sniffing the Derek Ryan game-worn jerseys.
Jesus. I didn't think you were going to go with jerseys.
The Jocks?
You know he misses the smell of Derek. You know it.
You really missed out on that opportunity to get a 3rd signature on that jersey, you know?
Yeah. Hey, there's another stint coming.
Really missed out on that chance. We got the Washington Capitals in town tonight against the McDavid Oilers. I want to talk a little bit about keys to victory for tonight's game against Washington without Connor. Talking about nationgear.ca. Bunch of new designs up on the store. Go get something, upgrade your wardrobe. Use the code BAGMILK10, get 10% off your order. Beautify your body. And then send Tyler pictures of it. He'd like to see it.
Wait.
Tyler at Oilersnation.com.
Sure.
We're looking at the red hot Capitals this year. Coming into town tonight. Obviously no Connor. So what are we expecting? What do we think that has to happen? What is a key to victory against Ovi and the Caps? Tyler?
Find a way to keep your power play productive. Washington's been really tough to beat at 5v5, so Skinner's going to have to be good, and I think they're going to have to score like a big power play goal or something to maybe be the difference tonight.
Capitals come into the game, winners of their last 4, 7-0-3 in their last 10. Liam, key to victory.
Teamwork makes the dream work. That's what Washington do. They work well as a team. In the last 4 games, their leading goal point getter is Brandon Duhaime, and he plays on that 4th line. So without McDavid, I know Draisaitl is kind of the key factor in all of this, but the others really need other guys to contribute. Specifically, Janmark.
Put him down for the empty netter.
Rick, key to victory against Caps.
Look, they're a really good team, but so are we, and we're not only number 97. It was just a short while ago where we went 2 games without a point from him and won them both for the first time ever. Mm-hmm. Just go and do your thing, follow Leon, but just use your speed. And if I have one request is don't let 8 score.
That actually, just since you mentioned Ovi.
I know I'm on the minority side here, and I accepted the fact it's going to happen, but can we prolong this as long as possible? Mm-hmm. I do not want this to happen. Because
you mentioned Ovi, I'll jump in with my key to victory. Stay out of the box. We've seen him score from that left circle 9 million times. That's what he does.
Not on Stu.
Well, let's not give him the chance.
Stu robbed him like last year or the year
Yeah,
before.
that was the game me and
That's
Liam
the
were
one
on
where
last year.
Obi came up and like tapped him after. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, well done.
I just say stay out of the box. Don't even give him the chance to shoot from there. You know he's going to be over there. Just don't give him the chance. Dan, key to victory.
It's going to be, to me, it's just offense. I think that the Capitals have been really bolstered by their goaltending unexpectedly this season. And so I think get a couple past the Capitals goaltender. Even in that first period, could you imagine coming out of the first period with a lead, not down 3-0?
Logan Thompson's been unreal this year, though.
I need catches the other way too. It always confuses the hell out of us. I hope we've been practicing with a goalie
Like as
that.
fans or as players?
No, the players.
Okay.
I always find we have a problem scoring a goalie that catches his right hand.
Maybe that'll
The old
help
Grant
Yanmark.
Fuhr style.
Maybe that'll help Yanmark. different look.
How dare you? How dare you do this? What did he ever do to you except not score on a goalie?
So much.
You don't make fun of the fuck. You don't make fun of the linemen when they get the ball. They go running and they just go, "I'm going to go down here instead."
Yes.
They could run all the way down. Running's very easy.
Liam's taking his Lions-related anger
I
out on
don't wanna
Matthias Janmark.
talk about this.
I was going the week before that, anyways. Essentially, I was referring to I think it was the Baltimore guy.
Bag Milk had to do it. You got it, Liam.
My team made it further,
That
Both
is
won
true.
the same number of playoff games. Oof.
but my team won one more game.
Tyler, key to
Who's
victory.
coaching your offense next year?
I said get going on the power play because Washington's a really good
Double the
5-on-5
defense.
team.
Yeah. Their OC did get hired away today.
And the DC is about to leave too.
Whoa.
Fairly well, old friends.
Aaron Glenn, is that the quarterback?
Aaron Glenn is a defensive
no.
coordinator.
It's not I know, but it's not the quarterback from New Orleans.
No, he was a
No.
defensive back for New Orleans.
Washington, new
cornerback.
team, by the way.
Corner, not quarter.
Yeah.
Kevin Glenn, former Elk.
Kevin Glenn, you're correct. Are
Played
they
for
related?
every team in the CFL, I think.
Not related.
No
He
relation.
played for every team,
I'm 99% sure he played for every team.
even both Rough Riders.
Ottawa.
Do you know what? He was in the league before the Red Blacks came in.
They
Yeah,
were the
he-
Roughnecks.
So Kevin Glenn started his career in 01, 3 years in Saskatchewan, 5 years in Winnipeg, 3 years in Hamilton, 2 years in Calgary, 1 season in BC, another half season in Saskatchewan, then to Montreal for a year, then to Winnipeg, then to Edmonton to finish it off.
So he didn't go to Toronto.
Yeah, he was never in
Oh,
Toronto.
Missed it.
They couldn't sign him.
That's too bad. Pretty pathetic. Someone
18
He couldn't make it. He couldn't sweep run the table.
Come on, there's only
18
nine
career
teams.
playoff games in the CFL. Shout out to him.
Mhm.
Argos kept getting swept up by someone else, beaten in the negotiation.
Saskatchewan just wanted him back.
Mhm.
That half season. Any other piece of victory before we move on to the betting segment?
Score
Boys,
more than them.
get your bets ready. We're going to be digging in the weeds. I want some creative
I need to
props.
Look now that
want some creative props from the
9-7.
boys.
We're going to
Not
build a
bad.
little squadsy.
We could build a little squadsy. Why not? Last round,
I'm
real
out
quick.
on that. I don't want to bet on tonight's game.
What? It's a betting segment, Liam. Just bet.
I feel like that was supposed
That's
to be
the whole
off mic.
point of the
Bet him
segment.
responsibly.
All right.
Just bet.
If you were to bet, you can tell
I'll-
us where you would.
Stuart Skinner over 22.5 saves.
You know what? I'm
No
gonna
point
say-
looking at that one now that you said it.
All right, might well have a little. Tyler's getting ahead of ourselves.
Skinner in his last.
He's too excited about the betting
The
segment.
line is 22.5. His saves the last 5 games 24, 22, 30, 21, 26. So he's hit it in 3 of 5.
Not enough for me. I need a 5. I need a perfect rate.
What's
The
your
betting
pick?
segment is brought to you by our friends at Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use the code NATION. NATION! Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Just looking at the game lines today. The Oilers are favored on the money line. They are minus 150 even without Connor. Caps at plus 125. If you look at the over-under, it is set at 5.5 goals tonight. Under is favored at minus 125. Over is plus 105 if you think there's going to be a bunch of goals in there. And then I was looking around. Connor's not going to be on the power play. We know this. So who else is going to touch the puck? We know Leon is. We know Nuge is. We know Bouchard is. So I'm digging around in the power play point props.
Ooh.
1 power play point for Leon Draisaitl is plus 140. 1 power play point for Evan Bouchard is plus 185.
Ooh, I don't mind.
What are those when they're put together?
I didn't look at the parlay. I wasn't getting greedy.
Can't parlay power play points on Bet365.
I wasn't getting greedy. What are you guys looking at, Tyler? What do you got? You already talked about Stu saves.
Yeah, I like the Stu saves. I like Draisaitl shots, and I like Jeff Skinner shots. If
What's his line?
Actually go Arvidsson shots then, because I think Draisaitl and Arvidsson are going to play a ton and get a ton of ozone shifts. So Draisaitl and Arvidsson, I like both their shot props 2.5.
Liam, assuming you were going to bet, like pretending.
If I had to bet, like I'm being told I do, I will be going with Leon Draisaitl +1 on plus minus, which is plus 130.
I didn't even know you could bet on plus minus.
Just new. It's new this week, I think. Zach Hyman's also a good one at plus 130.
Bringing the stat back.
Yep, we got to bring it back somehow, Dan. Any other props stick out? Rick, you looking at anything that's drawing your fancy?
Yeah, I don't see why you don't sprinkle in all the Bouchard shot total at 2.5 minus 135.
I can see Bouch shooting the puck tonight. I can see it.
I think you'll see some penalties.
Just because of what happened, they're just going to be over-indexing now.
I think you're going to see a couple.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Everybody made a lot of noise about no penalties the other day. Maybe.
Who are the refs? Let's have a peek.
Oh, dear God.
Scouting the refs.
Oh, nuts.
Liam's looking that up.
This is always the scariest part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
If I know their names, it's not a good thing.
Well, he's looking that up, Tyler. When you're looking at the Oilers going against a tough opponent like the Caps, which they are, 4-game win streak, how do you approach betting on a game like that?
I usually just tend to go more shot props in a game like this. Again, like Washington's good. They're the best team in the NHL by points percentage. I don't like that the Oilers are as heavily favorited. So I'll kind of do one of two things. I'll stay on the player props early, shot props, things that don't involve having a score on Logan Thompson, and then feel it out after the first period. If the Oilers are down 1-0, but they're playing well, maybe it's a live bet spot.
I don't know who the refs are, so that's good.
You don't know their names, or it doesn't say?
I know
Hamilton and
their names.
Hansen.
Never heard of them. Both from BC, though. Not a good thing.
Oh, that's a terrible sign.
Lewis Hamilton? He's in red
Lewis
now.
Hamilton and Otto Hansen.
Someone check their Instagram pages if they see any Canucks paraphernalia.
Hamilton has only had 13 career games, while Trevor Hansen has 702. Damn, Daniel.
Trevor's been
How the
around.
hell have you had 702 games in this league and we don't know your name?
Good ref.
Must be.
Hopefully. We shall see.
And he's got to drag along this stupid kid.
It's just an up and
Who
comer.
calls a ton of penalties.
Oh, great. Here we go.
He averages 9 penalties a game.
So
9?
well, we should go
Is
back
that right?
to the
Yeah,
back to the
penalties
betting
per
talk
game.
here and see if we can't get some more.
Yeah, some
Power
power
play
play
might be
props.
the play.
Power play props might be the play.
This kid just keeps telling his mom, "Hey, mom, turn on the TV tonight. You'll see me. I'll keep putting my arm up for you."
Mm-hmm.
The other guy,
Wave it, mom.
Trevor Hansen. I'm assuming the ones on the left are home and the ones on the right are road. At home, that doesn't make
Where's
sense.
his home?
Now
Eight,
we're road in
8.5. We'll call it 8 because the other one is 7.5.
So we could see some penalty minutes tonight.
Could see some power plays tonight, folks.
All right.
Gear up. We don't know what those look like.
Betting segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account at Bet365 today. Bet our huge range of markets. Use the code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. I know you've all been waiting. You've been hoping. You've been yearning. Not just for the nation vacation I'm going to tell you about, but the return of Dan's game. It's been a minute. We decided to close out the Tuesday episode of Oilers Nation with another round of Dan's game. I'm looking forward to seeing how bad we are at this once again. Of course, the nation vacation to Vegas is going live right now in nationgear.ca. We have a flight package for you. We have a non-flight package if you got some points you want to spend. We've got a ticket package if you're already going to be there and you just want to join us. There's plenty of options to get involved in the nation vacation. We are leaving for that game in Vegas. That is March 30th. We will be back April 2nd. I'm very excited. Tyler's very excited to see you. I'm very excited for the all-inclusive Stella Artois Lounge. That's right. I said all-inclusive. That's your booze and your food, Tyler.
It's going to be exciting.
I'm going to have a little snack. Maybe 2. Maybe 2.
3 beers. Oh, if they're free, BPP.
BPP might be 3.
Yeah.
Were you being honest? You were going to go to a game in Vegas and go with 3 beers in the whole game?
If I had to pay for them, yes. If I don't have to pay for them, different story.
I've seen you go to games in the United States of America where you've had to pay for your own beers, and 3 is usually cleared by the time we drop the puck in the first period, or the very worst, by the time you get 0-0 of the first period.
I didn't know we counted warm up.
That doesn't count as the game. Clock's not running.
Clock hasn't started. You don't count shots on goal and warm up.
I'm sitting there thinking about when we were in Colorado. I probably had 2 beers before warm-ups were even over, and a cheeseburger on the ground.
Yeah, the Smashburgers were good.
Then no tables. I had to eat on the ground. I wasn't David Hasselhoffing it, I promise. Dan?
Oh, you should have.
I was. That could have been later.
Come on, in Vegas, you're David Hasselhoff.
That's Jay's job, is David Hasselhoffing his food in Vegas. He's got a neatly packed taco that he brings with him wherever he goes.
I thought you just meant the no shirt part.
Well, clothing is optional. Dan, what do you got for Dan's game today? The return of Dan's game.
For the fans that forget, the rules are as follows. You're going to be picking 3 things of one type, then one other random thing. Tonight's
Like 3 skaters and a goalie and 3 on 3 OT.
You get it. You understand. Tyler gets it. He's done this before. Today's theme is based off of tonight's opponent, the Washington Capitals. Capitals, capital letters. So we're going to be drafting letters. We're going to be trying to spell the best word we can, 3 letters or less. And then also drafting a number between 0 and 9.
Do the letters have to correspond to a capital player?
Nope. Just capital letters.
You're just trying to spell a word in your 3 picks.
You got it.
Okay.
Tyler's figuring it out as we
Can we
go.
use the same letter twice?
If it works in the same word.
You have to draft.
Once a letter's off the board, it's off the board.
Yeah, you can't have it anymore.
Oh, I feel ya.
All right.
Oh boy.
There we go.
So I just randomized the list as we were talking there, and it's going to go Liam, myself, Bag Milk, Tyler, and Rick. And we'll do a snake
Interesting.
order.
The back-to-back is massive in this.
Yeah, that
This is
might
a
be
big one.
So, Liam, you are first up. You're either letter or number.
A.
Liam
Wasn't
goes
on my board.
off the board with the letter A as the first spot. I'm going to grab the letter. Oh man, this is tough because they're not coming back to me.
Yep, there's
I'm gonna
25
go
to
with
pick.
E. The
Whoa.
letter E.
Another
is going to be
vowel
drafted.
off the board.
Bag Milk.
There
You
goes
are
my
on
word.
the clock with your letter draft.
Now I got to be tactical.
Yes.
A and E are off the board. I'm going to go with O.
Whoa.
Whoa. O is gone. The vowels.
The vowels are coming
huge
up.
vowel run.
O is up there on my board, but I'm going to go with my number 2 pick, which is I.
Tyler grabs the capital I. Rick with 2 picks. You
Ah.
do not have most of the vowels as an option,
And then it comes back to me.
but you get to do 2 picks in a row.
Yeah, so
Damn, that's crazy. I off the board. What will Rick pick? Maybe you?
well, yeah, I gotta go with you, but
Yeah,
I'm,
okay.
I'm just trying to work the
Rick picks
I
you.
was going
And
to think of his word, though. What's going to have your U
Yeah.
vowel in there?
Lug.
my second letter.
Don't help him.
Yeah, my second letter is gonna be
L.
G.
Are you at his table as well at this draft?
G.
Liam's a
Letter G.
consultant at
Trying to help
Rick's
myself.
draft table.
Rick has drafted the letters U and G. Tyler, back to you with the letter I.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm going to go with the letter N.
Whoa. Oh, come on.
Wow.
I didn't draft A for nothing. Damn it.
Bagged milk.
I'm going to go with the letter T.
OT so
T.
far. And I'm going to grab the letter S to join E.
Stupid.
So, Liam, there's a lot of letters off the board. But
Now
it's
you got
over
2
to you.
letters in a row to spell your word or pick
Or
your
you've
number.
got to pick your number.
Okay, what's available?
0 through
Nope.
9.
Nope. Uh-uh.
Where's
Okay.
0 through 9,
passing your phone?
as well as these.
No, it's okay. I'll go off memory.
I'll tell you if it's been picked.
G,
Has already been picked.
B.
Is available. A and B for Liam. And then your last, or your either your final letter pick or your number pick.
P.
Okay.
Bop.
All right.
I'm gonna pick the letter. Oh my god.
Could be any of them.
It literally could be anything except for the ones that you guys have already picked. I'm gonna pick the letter X for sex.
Ooh.
You.
Damn.
Gross.
I
Good word.
spelled the word sex. Bag milk, you're up next. Sex sells, but OT gets joined by.
I really had my heart set on P for pot. But I guess I'm going to have to go with C for caught.
Tyler, you're up. The letters I and N get joined by.
The W, win.
Whoa.
You guys gifted to me this one.
Smart. Rick?
Well, I can't say what.
It's true.
M.
Oh, nice little mug root beer.
Little mug for Rick and the number you'd like
Stanley
to
Cup is
draft.
called the mug.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I prefer 10, but we're not allowed to. So let's
0
just
through 9.
say
Correct.
With cup.
1 for Connor McDavid, first overall.
Okay. Tyler.
5 for the number of Stanley Cups the Oilers have won.
Okay. BM.
9, because it's the highest number available.
I'm going to grab 6 because you already grabbed 9 and I'm on a theme. Liam.
What do you accompany BAP with?
BAP gets accompanied with either 2, 3, 4,
Or PAB?
7, or 8.
I love how this has no correlation to the rest of it at all, and he's stressing out this much about it.
And also, nobody else wanted to bring back the game more than Liam. So
It is also BAP a word.
Yeah, surely.
Oh, yeah. Okay. A round, soft form of bread that is usually smaller than a loaf.
Can you make a buddy out of it?
Yeah,
You make a
that's
buddy
why
out of
I thought
everybody.
Bat buddy?
You know, I'll say 3 because that's how many baps I'm going to have tonight.
and there you have it.
There you go.
Dan's game
The
returns.
return of Dan's game.
I thought we were going to use a player's name starting with the letter.
That's what I thought.
Nope, just capital letters.
So you got your options are BAP 3, Sex 6, Caught 9, Win 5, and Mug 1.
I can't wait to show all these on the graphics.
These are great.
I
They're
can't
going to
wait for
make
someone to see it
total,
out of
It's going to be
context.
very confusing.
total sense without context.
Yeah.
There you go. The triumphant return of Dan's game.
Or is that code?
Could be code.
Not mine.
All of
Bap.
it together.
Still,
This means bap.
I don't know if English slang counts as a word in my opinion, but it's just my opinion.
Never
It's
forget
actually a
he
Korean
had
boy band.
first overall pick, and that's what he came out with.
Came up
I
with
was trying to spell and.
The rail, it fell off the rails initially.
I just,
right off
I
the
don't know.
When
bat.
you're picking first overall and that, you can't even think of a word. You got to throw out a letter and just work.
It's true.
I took number 1.
Let's
Hey,
wrap up the podcast, gentlemen. We got the Capitals in town tonight, so it's score prediction time. Tyler, what do you got? Ovi and the Caps.
Oh God, I usually don't do this, but I'll be honest, I'm nervous about this one. I'm going to say the Oilers lose 3-1.
oh, come on.
But usually I'm almost like Dan, where the games where I don't expect them to win, they usually play great and win. So I'm going to say 3-1 Caps.
Dan.
I'm going to say 3-2 Oilers.
5-3 Edmonton. The team comes together behind Leon and without Connor.
Liam, score prediction.
3-1 Edmonton. Yeah, Mark empty net goal.
It's going to be a 9-7 game. Solidarity for Connor.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.